details released in January's mid-air collision.
Investigators identified discrepancies related to the accident helicopter's altitude.
What we're learning this afternoon.
The brutal heat and humidity will be coming to an end, but not before heavy rain works through. We'll let you know the timing of this heavy rainfall on your Thursday.
I'm actually wearing a bathing suit because it was so hot.
Then a hot and humid day across the DMV. How people in the region are finding ways to cool off.
And they're not here for the pool party. DC police searching for these burglars in bikinis.
And everyone loves a shopping spree. We're stretching your dollar with the tax-free holidays you can take advantage of.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Tosin Fakile. Today's the first day of the National Transportation Safety Board investigative hearings on that deadly mid-air collision over Reagan National Airport.
Tosin, we're now talking about new details emerging, including the Army helicopter was flying higher than it should have been. Now, that mid-air collision back in January between an American Airlines plane and an Army helicopter killed all 67 people. The NTSB is questioning witnesses and investigators and showing new surveillance video.
And take a look. It shows the jet as it collides with the helicopter, referenced by its flight call sign PAT 25 on the left of the screen, and moves to the right as the two aircraft cross flight paths. It's leading officials to investigate if the helicopter pilot had accurate readings.
Investigators identified discrepancies related to the accident helicopter's altitude, leading to additional investigative work to determine the validity of the altitude information.
The Department of Transportation and some senators are pushing forward legislation to avoid a crash like that from happening again. Coming up on DC News Now, later on, Maddie Biertemple gives a full report from today's hearings.
All right, Tosin, another hot day across the DMV. We take a live look right outside. Of course, we have team coverage today.
Yeah, Daniel Hamburg checking out how people are keeping cool. But first, let's head over to meteorologist Damon Matson. Damon, another hot day. Will there be relief anytime soon?
Tosin and Mark, brutal, stifling, all of those fit the description for today. And the thing is, well, this is the peak of it, folks. We get through this afternoon, and yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We finally do start to gradually cool things down, but it is not pleasant out there this afternoon. We do have heat advisories that still go until 8 p.m. across the entire region. It won't be until 8 o'clock that many of us see that heat index finally drop down out of the triple digits. Right now, just about everybody has a feels like temp above 100, 102 in DC, 108 Frederick, 109 in Leesburg. Now, we do have some exceptions like Winchester. There have been a couple of showers and storms, mainly to the west, and that is how much those showers and storms help in terms of cooling things down. But many of us won't get that. We will continue to stay downright stifling straight into the overnight hours, and those temperatures, those humidity levels, they do not fall much tonight. But as we head into the day on Thursday, a front is going to be swinging into the region, interacting with all the heat and humidity we have built up. That front is going to be the reason why we cool things down. But before we can get to those nicer temperatures, we have a lot of heavy rain to deal with tomorrow, folks. A flood watch has already been put out for Thursday and Thursday night across most of the DMV, as flash flooding will be a big-time concern. We'll time out when the worst of this heavy rain could be working through the area in your full forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, we'll check in with you soon. In the district, day 2 of public testimony on the deal to bring the commanders back to the district.
Today, team leadership and the mayor speaking after 12 hours of public comment Tuesday. DC News Now's Mariel Carbone joins us live at the Wilson Building. Mariel, a lot discussed today.
Yeah, Mark and Tosin, and today is really that first chance that we've gotten to hear from Commanders team leadership about how they envision all of this coming together, from the concessions they've had to make to the commitments they're still making to DC residents. An outburst of applause for Mayor Muriel Bowser and Commanders President Mark Klaus as the two get closer to securing a deal to bring the team back to DC.
To borrow a phrase, this is a BFD. very big.
Wednesday, in a second and final public hearing, Klaus addressing D.C. Council.
We shared with all of you yesterday evening a specific list of commitments to your request discussed over the past couple of weeks.
Of those commitments, a promise to cover all overrun costs, keeping the fields at RFK open during construction, and pausing the construction of a third parking garage unless deemed necessary later.
What are the team's understandings of how WMATA's capacity is going to have to change?
Charles Allen pushing back on transit plans for the Stadium Armory Metro stop.
Part of what we've been working on collectively is a transportation fund that will enable us to have security around the fact that if we need to alter it, if we need to improve entrance.
Well, let's be honest, it's not an if, like we will need to improve it.
On timeline, the team plans to build housing and retail in tandem with the stadium.
Already, within the timeline we're committing to, is to have development ready at the opening of the stadium.
We're talking about the second most gentrified jurisdiction in the nation.
Robert White focused on preventing displacement.
Mayor, can you commit to working with us to create a housing preservation fund to keep nearby residents in place?
I would first want to look at kind of our existing protections.
And some other sticking points talked about today, the Commanders breaking down their community benefits agreement, as well as some commitments to environmental protections for the building of the stadium. Mark and Tosin, again, the first vote is on Friday. And as Councilmember Charles Allen said today, that's still far away. So you can expect some negotiations to happen over the next day and a half as we get closer to that official vote. Reporting live from the Wilson Building, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
There's definitely going to be a lot of movement. Marielle, thank you for that report. Developing now in Prince George's County, a swim instructor charged for allegedly sexually assaulting 2 children. Police charged this man on your screen, 25-year-old Tyler Wangombe G. Churu. We're showing you his picture because police believe there could be additional victims. Police say the suspect was hired by the victim's family for private swim lessons. The alleged sexual assault happened at a community center in Upper Marlboro.
That's why we do what we do. That's why myself and our team does what we do, because we want to keep children safe. So it's very important, and we're aware that the children are one of our most vulnerable, people out there in our community. Do your diligence, do your background checks, talk to people who have used them, get references from that person before you hire them.
That man is being held without bond.
A man is under arrest in Frederick County, Maryland, after deputies say he called for threats of mass violence at a camp. The children's camp was being held at Emmitsburg Elementary School Tuesday morning. The suspect has been identified as 28-year-old Benjamin DeWeese. Witnesses told deputies DeWeese approached the school playground around children and staff and made threats of violence. They say that he admitted to making the statements while he was in custody. He's facing several charges, including threat of mass violence and second-degree assault and disturbing the peace.
And in D.C., a man was arrested after a fight turned into a stabbing last night. It happened on 7th Street in Northwest. Police say 55-year-old Andre Thomas got into a fight with someone, then pulled out a knife and stabbed them. The victim was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Thomas faces assault charges.
An update out of Baltimore, Maryland. This afternoon, demolition crews started to remove the last pieces of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The bridge collapsed after the cargo ship Dali crashed into it last year, killing 6 people. Governor Wes Moore toured the area with other state leaders. The governor praised the workers, what has been done so far, and the director of the project gives us a timeline update.
New alignment is actually to the east. So we're able to progress the actual reconstruction work. We'll be driving what we call test piles in the water sometime in September, and we'll load test those piles.
Yeah, bridge is expected to open in 2028.
New today, Six Flags America in Bowie says Fright Fest will be canceled this fall. The park says it's focusing on daytime activities in its final fall season of operation. The theme park is still running its annual Kids Boo Fest. Signature rides will run weekends starting September 13th. Six Flags' final day of operation is November 2nd. New concerns in Fairfax County this afternoon surrounding a drug some tobacco and vape shops are selling. Police say more than a dozen of those shops have been burglarized in the county this year, and the drug some burglars are targeting could be dangerous.
We find DC News Now's Randy Bass outside of one of those shops in Fairfax with the latest details. Randy.
Yes, Fairfax County Police tell us the same suspect burglarized this tobacco and vape shop on Braddock Road twice just this summer. One of several burglaries just like it throughout the county, stealing the drug Kratom, now a substance on FCPD's radar. Even though the drug is legal, Kratom has Fairfax County Police on alert. Officers say these are the products and drugs 23-year-old David Elliott stole from the Star Tobacco shop in separate robberies in June and July.
Some of the vape shop burglaries that have occurred have been repeat locations. Kratom is something new that we have seen stolen most recently only in these burglaries that have just occurred. It has been stolen for individual use, and it's been stolen and sold.
Police say thefts along with the resale and misuse of the drug pose public safety risks. Kratom is not regulated by the FDA. It's widely available and advertised for sale at many tobacco and vape shops across Fairfax County. The Virginia Department of Health says it's potentially addictive, with similar properties to opioids. Some people take it to reduce opioid cravings or treat pain. On Tuesday, the FDA announced plans to consider one of Kratom's byproducts, known as 7-OH, as a Schedule I drug. The FDA commissioner says researchers don't have good data on how many people have died from using drugs like 7-OH and Kratom.
We need to be proactive so we don't get caught blindsided again.
Fairfax County Police are warning other businesses, shops, retailers that sell Kratom to be on high alert and report any suspicious activity. In Fairfax, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, Randy, thank you. A commuter alert tonight, a new traffic pattern in McLean near the Capitol Beltway Interloop near the GW Parkway. The highway will be narrowed to make room for a 600-foot-long Jersey barrier that's expected to start at 10 p.m. and completed by 5 tomorrow morning ahead of the commuter rush.
Looking ahead, towns across the DMV getting ready for a National Night Out. It's a night that brings law enforcement and the community together. Montgomery County Police Assistant Chief Nicholas Augustine talked about the importance of bringing everyone together.
When residents know their neighbors and know the officers who serve them, it leads to better communication, quicker problem solving, and stronger communities overall.
Montgomery County Police will hold 24 events across the 6 county districts. Check with your local police station to find out where you can find the fun.